Well, praise the Lord and good morning. It's June 25th, and we're going to be reading for 1 Chronicles, the 13th chapter. Then David consulted with the captains of the thousands and the hundreds, even with every leader. David said to all the assembly of Israel, "If it seems good to you, and if it is from the Lord our God, let us send everywhere to our kinsmen who remain in all the head of Israel, also to the priests and the Levites, who are with them in their cities with pasture lands, that they may meet with us. And let us bring back the ark of our God to us, for we did not seek it in the days of Saul." Then all the assembly said that they would do so, for the thing was right in the eyes of all the people. So David assembled all of Israel together with the Shihor of Egypt, even to the entrance of Hamath, to bring the ark of God from Kiriath Jearim. David and all of Israel went up to Bela, that is Kiriath Jearim, which belongs to Judah, to bring up from where the ark of God, the Lord who is enthroned above the cherub, where his name is called. They carried the ark of God on a new cart from the house of Abinadab, and Uzzah and Ohio drove the cart. David and all Israel were celebrating before God with all their might, even with songs, with lyres, harps, tambourines, cymbals, and with trumpets. When they came to the threshing floor of Shidon, Uzzah put out his hand to hold the ark, because the oxen nearly upset it. The anger of the Lord burned against Uzzah, so he struck him down because he did put his hand to the ark, and he died there before the Lord. Then David became angry because of the Lord's outburst against Uzzah, and he called the place Uzzah to this day. David was afraid of God that day, saying, "How can I bring the ark of God home to me?" So David did not take the ark with him to the city of David, but took it aside to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. Thus the ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in his house 3 months. And the Lord blessed the family of Obed-Edom with all that he had. Now Hiram, king of Tyre, sent cedar trees, masons, and carpenters to build a house for him. And David realized that the Lord had established him as king over Israel, and that his kingdom was highly exalted for the sake of all his people Israel. Then David took more wives at Jerusalem, and David became the father of more sons and daughters. These are the names of the children who were born to him in Jerusalem: Shemua, Sobab, Nathan, Solomon, Abhar, Ishua, Eshsheba, Nogad, Nephhad, Japal, Elishama, Biladad, and Ipha. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over all Israel, all the Philistines went up in search of David, and David heard of it, and he went out against them. Now the Philistines had come and made a raid on the valley of Rephaim. David inquired of the Lord, saying, "Shall I go up against the Philistines? And you will give them into my hand." Then the Lord said to him, "Go up, for I will give them into your hand." So they came up to Baal Perazim, and David defeated them there. And David said, God has broken through my enemies by my hand, like the breaking through of waters. Therefore they named the place of Baal Perazim. They abandoned their gods there. So David gave the order, and they were burned with fire. And the Philistines made yet another raid in the valley. David inquired again of God, and God said to him, "You shall not go up after them. Circle around behind them, and come at them in the front of the balsam trees." And it shall be, when you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, then you shall go out to battle, for God will have gone out before you to strike the army of the Philistines. David did just as God had commanded him, and they struck down the army of the Philistines from Gibeon even as far as Gezer. Then the fame of David went out into all the lands, and the Lord brought the fear of him into all the nations. Psalm 78, 1 through 11. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which ye have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will hide them from their children, telling to the generation to come the praises of the Lord, and his strength and his wonderful works that he has done. For he has established a testimony in Jacob, and appointed a law of Israel, which he had commanded of our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, and that the generation to come might know them. That the children who were born would be born, that they might arise and declare to them their children, and they might set their hope in God, and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments, and may not be like their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that did not set its heart right, and whose spirit was not faithful to God. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back to the day of the battle. They did not keep the covenant of God. They refused to walk in his law and forgot his works and his wonders that they have shown them. Proverbs 19, 20 and 21. Listen to counsel and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter days. There are many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord's counsel that will stand. Acts 7, 22 to 43. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and deeds. Now when he was 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended and avenged him who was oppressed, struck down an Egyptian. For he supposed that he was his brother, would not have understood that God would deliver them by his hand, but they did not understand. And the next day he appeared to two of them as they were fighting, and tried to reconcile them, saying, Men, you are brethren, why do you wrong one another? But he who did his neighbor wrong pushed another one away, saying, Who made you a ruler and judge over us? Do you want to kill me as you killed the Egyptian yesterday? Then at that saying Moses fled, and became a dweller in the land of Midian, where he had 2 sons. And when 40 years had passed, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire in a bush in the wilderness of Mount Sinai. When Moses saw it, he marveled at the sight. And as he drew near to observe, the voice of the Lord came to him, saying, I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses trembled and dared not look. when the Lord said to him, "Take off your sandals off your feet, for this place where you stand is holy ground. I have surely seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt. I have heard their groaning and have come down to deliver them, and now come, I will send you to Egypt." This Moses, whom they rejected, saying, "Who made you a ruler and a judge?" is the one God sent to be a ruler and deliverer by the hand of the angel who appeared to him in the bush. He brought them out, and after he had shown wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea, in the wilderness 40 years. This is that Moses who said to the children of Israel, "The Lord your God will raise you up for a prophet like me from your brethren. Him you shall hear." This is he who was in the congregation of the wilderness with the angel who spoke to him on Mount Sinai, and with our fathers, the one who received the living oracles to give to us, whom your fathers would not obey, but rejected. And in their hearts they turned back to Egypt, saying to Aaron, "Make us gods to go before us, as for this Moses who brought us out of the land of Egypt. We did not know what has become of him." And they made a calf in those days, offered sacrifices to the idol, and rejoiced in the works of their own hands. Then God turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, as it was written in the book of the prophets, "Did you offer me slaughtered animals and sacrifices during 40 years in the wilderness, O house of Israel? You also took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Rephaim, images which you made to worship, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon." Thank you, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow.